Hello guys, so I'm back and we saw some issues with the deployment from um, from the build that we did that was causing some issues with some of the images that were coming through that weren't coming through actually. And after doing some research on it, we realized that when you try to serve an image from a source that is not secure, that is an HTTP resource, and you're trying to push it into a domain that is going to be a HTTPS, it's going to be a secure site, then there is something called mixed content, and that usually happens. And I even got an email from Netlify telling me that that shouldn't happen that way, and Netlify does not allow that. So there were a few things that we had to do. We either had to make our Netlify development unsecure and HTTP and basically deny the certificate there, or make our website secure so that it could be served with an HTTPS instead, just like you see here. So I did that, and instead I created a different one. I created a brand new build of the domain. Instead of Gatsby lotusms.tech, it's now Gatsby2 lotusms.tech. Apparently there was an issue with the server itself, and they lost the way to, they basically broke the domain, if that makes any sense. I know I was just as shocked as you probably are. And I mean, how can you break a domain, right? So they couldn't fix it. They couldn't make sure that it was on HTTPS, and then they couldn't put it back even in HTTP either. So luckily for me, that was just a test domain and not my actual real domain, or I would have been quite mad. But regardless, we have a domain that works and is secure, and I went ahead and added it here, or switched it to this one right here. Now this is the beauty of Gatsby, you being able to source out the content from with this plugin right here, is that all that I had to do for it to work was just basically change this domain right here, and everything. And then obviously I had to develop, I had to close my develop and then Gatsby develop again so I can compile it. But that's it. It didn't take any more configuration other than just changing the domain that I am, the URL that I am pointing to, and everything was just magically done for me. That was a great thing. It just shows the power that Gatsby has, that you can just connect to any WordPress site you want and just pretty much harvest the information from that site. And I mean, it's great, and it's also scary because I could just literally put here any site in the world. Yeah, so yeah, it is kind of scary. But then again, you're only gonna get you're only gonna get content back that you would normally get anyway by just visiting their site. So it's really not that much of a deal. So anyway, so I did that, and I recompiled my site, and everything is fine. I made sure that it worked on here. As you can see, some of the things changed, some of the images changed because they're brand new content that I added there. I didn't even bother on bringing the content from the other one. I just basically just did new content here. And at the end of the course, there is going to be a bonus WordPress setup for Gatsby that will show how I can create all these posts real quick with the help of Favicon. Okay, and so once I did that and I compiled it, I made sure that I added it and committed the changes. And as you can see here, I made a git add, and then I git commit to a fix to my GitHub, fixed HTTPS as in my comments, and then git push. Everything was pushed over, and the Netflix did a build on it. And once they did a build on it, I was able to get, and this is the actual real website now that is on Netlify. As you can see, it works. If I go to the actual post, I can see all of it in there. I can come back. Those that have images inside will show up as well with the images. So everything works exactly as I would expect, and this right here works just as well also. So everything is great. now we got to talk a little bit about the SEO part of this. So let's look at the Lighthouse part of this. So I'm gonna go ahead and undock this so I can see it in a bigger, and then I'm gonna go to audit, and I'm gonna generate a report. So this is a really good tool that will show you in your site. It will do like a minor basic set of checks and things that you can do to improve your site optimization for SEO and things like that. So some good things here happening and some bad things. So we have some best practices here, we have some bad SEO going on, and our site is progressive. And that happens because of the manifest that we added. So let's talk about it a little bit on this and see how we can fix this overall performance to 50, from 50 up a little higher. So starting with some of the images, some of them I'm just going to skip, we don't have enough time for all this, but some of them is going to be properly sized images. So this is pretty simple fix, and as you can see here, this image is probably brought in, which it was brought in from that Unsplash website. We're only using it here for about 60 pixels, and we're using it down here for maybe, I don't know, 250 pixels or something like that. So this is as easy as just pulling this image from any image editor. If you have Photoshop, that's great too, and then resizing it and making two different images, making a 60 pixel image that you can put here, right, and then another 250 pixel that you can put here. So instead of trying to fetch the same photo in both places, just have two of them in your files here, one in your images, one that is small for this and one that's a little bit bigger for that, and that way you don't have any problems with this section here trying to pull a big image in it, and that will reduce the size for that part. So what else can be helped here? So we have some accessibility issues. So the document doesn't have a title. Some images do not have alt attributes, and the HTML does not have a lang attribute. So we're gonna fix all of that stuff with the help of our helmet. So let's just go ahead and close this for now and get into the site here. So the first thing that I want to do, let's go to our web config, our Gatsby config, sorry. And there is a couple of things here that I don't know if I downloaded, and that's going to be our Preconnect. And let's see, let's close the sharp, close the manifest for now. Okay, I don't see it here. So we're going to get our Gatsby Preconnect started. That's part of the SEO checks that we have to do. So let's go to Gatsby to begin with. Okay, so we go to Gatsby and we go to plugins, and then in plugins we look for Preconnect, and there it is, and we're gonna install that. So copy and come here, gonna stop development. There's another update for Gatsby. This is going to happen a lot. These guys, they do a lot of updating. I technically don't like to update in the middle of a development. I do it after I've already developed whatever I'm working on. But I definitely would do it if I see that it jumps from 212 to 213 or even 3. Even better. I mean, definitely for 3, but not for small 19 to 29 as you see there. It's not a big deal. All right, so now that we're downloading that but you know, by the time that it installs, while it's installing, come over here and grab everything here and move it into here. Doesn't really matter where you do it, really. So here's just as good place as any. So now we're resolving it, and then now in the email, in the URLs, the domains that we're going to use to have it as a pre-connect is basically going to be your actual URL. So I didn't do this before because I needed to have this in order to do it. So just come over here and copy that and add it to it. All right, so that's one of the things that you needed to do. So we're gonna, this is still doing its checks, so we'll save later. And now we're gonna come here to the index. All right, now in the index we need to do a few things. So first we got to make sure that we have helmet working. I'm not sure if it is or it isn't. I'm not even sure actually if we even have it installed, but I think we do. I thought I saw it in the config. Yeah, so we have React helmet actually working. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually bring it in. Okay, so and this is almost done down here. Great, this is done. All right, so if that's done, then we can save this. All right, now we can come over here now, and we're gonna import helmet from React helmet. All right, so what does this helmet do? So this is how you add all these meta tags and links and a lot of attributes to the head of your website. Okay, and you can have a helmet per page if you want to. So if you had more than just one page, if you had the index page and the about page and you had all different pages separated instead of having just one page like we did here, you could have a helmet for each section of your, or for each page, and declare there how you want your description and your meta tag and your title and all that stuff to look. Okay, so like right now you see that we don't have anything. It just has the domain up here. Our website doesn't have a title. It just has that up there. So that's not really the right way to do it. So we're going to go to the layout, and right on immediately under the layout, that's where you want to put the helmet on. So you start with the helmet and close the helmet. There we go. And then inside the helmet, you're going to put everything that you need to add there. So the first thing we're going to do is the title. And my title for this one is going to be Louis Silva CV or resume or whatever you call it in your country. And then we're going to add a meta tag. So this one is going to be a meta name. It's going to be a description tag, description meta tag, description, yeah. Making sure that I didn't have any errors there, any typos. And then content of the metadata. That's what the actual description is going to be. So I don't know, a visual representation of my resume and skills. I don't know if that's even cool or whatever. You can put whatever you want. You can make that decision yourself. And then we're also gonna add, it's always good to have, is a robot. So name equals robots. And then for your robots, you want your content to be indexed and followed by all your web crawlers and your web spiders. That way your site can be crawled and indexed for content, and your SEO will improve. So okay, that right there is one way to improve it. And let me see what else. See if we're missing anything else. All right, so I saw. Okay, so I think that the HTML was also missing. Yeah, the HTML was also missing some stuff. So let's see. Maybe we should do that. And yeah, so this is particularly or specifically only for just the index page, right? So we're gonna leave that alone, and what we're going to do is we're gonna do more global stuff to the actual layout, because this is where the global element will do, will come from. So we're gonna come up here and grab this helmet and go to the layout and put it in there. And now we're gonna use the helmet here as well. We could do pretty much put this anywhere we want. Where do I put it? Right here is good. All right, and then now here we're gonna put the ones that are more global properties to the site, that are not like the other one, the title and the description. That goes on a page by page basis. This is a little bit more a little bit broader in scope and importance. So one thing that you want to do here obviously is going to be the HTML that our Lighthouse was complaining about, and we're gonna give that language of English, and that could be close in itself. Great. Okay, so that's one thing that you can do. And then another thing that you can do here, and I'm gonna let you guys do this one on your own because it doesn't really matter much, but it's adding a favicon. So what you want to do is you go to anywhere where you can. A great place to do it is what is a favicon generator. You can go to favicon generator, like this one here, for example, and then generate one from image, or have an emoji one, or whatever. Just have a random one. I don't know, something like this. I don't know. Just add an image in there, and then it will go through the whole thing, and then it will give you a chance to download it. So once you download it, you're gonna get that ICO favicon, right? And then you're gonna put it in your static folder where you put all the images before. Where is the static folder? Right here. So you see where the avatars are. You can put it anywhere you want, really. You can put it in the avatar, so you can put it, or you can open in the static, you can open another folder and call it icons and put it in there if you want to, call it favicon and put it inside. It doesn't matter where you put it. Okay, and then what you're going to do is you're going to import it in the layout. So you go to import, and you're gonna call it favicon, and import from wherever it is that you put it. So let's say you put it in your static folder under images, under avatar, and let's say it's like one of these, right? But instead of that, it would say favicon.ico, assuming that you put it inside the avatar folder in here. Okay, assuming that you plopped it in there. So assuming that you have a favicon that lives in there, then now you can come in here into your helmet and put link, no, not that link, this link, rel and icon, and then href favicon. This is basically really, basically referring to this right here, and then close it. So once you do this, it's going to basically add whatever favicon you imported in here into here, and then you'll have a favicon on your site, kind of like mine has this yellow one and blue over here on the top. That way you don't have to have this little world thing. But this is not really going to work because I don't have a favicon on there, so I'm just going to get rid of it. And also get rid of this. This is pretty simple. You should know how to import an image because we've done this already. So I'm just going to save this the way it is, and I'm not even going to compile. I'm just going to git add and then commit, and I'm just going to name this commit helmet or SEO even, and push. That's going to send all my stuff to GitHub, and it's also going to create a new build in Netlify, Now, as you can see, there is a my name is over here now, Louis Silva. So there is a title to it, and some things are going to be better now. So we're going to check now what ratings we get, and I don't expect to see a whole lot of improvement because we didn't do a whole lot. We just fixed a few things, but this gives you an idea of how to make it better. So some of the stuff you're just gonna have to do on your own. This is not an SEO course, but this will give you a good idea of what to look for, and there is a lot of information in this Lighthouse report that will tell you where to go. So we went from 50 to 51%. All right, that's not much at all, was it? All right, so let me see, what do we fix? Accessibility wise, we still have these alt issues here, and some best practices we're doing great, and SEO is again the alt, and then we're still progressive, so that's good. So most of our biggest problems is happening from performance here. Time to interact and CPU idle. So some of these things right here, which a lot of it has to do because of the image sizing and things like that. So the best way that I can tell you, and I'm going to get that out of the way, to change the alt images is, since this is a small site and you know already where your images are, it's going to be pretty easy to find them, basically. We know that the about is used in one place for the image, so right here. Okay, so just basically put an alt, and in there you're going to you can actually just name it, make it static. You can make it a static name just like that, since it's the picture of yourself. So that's pretty easy. My project. So this one is the one that is going to be a little bit, because it's dynamic. So look for where the image is, which is here, the car media, and you see how the alt is empty. So we're just going to name it exactly the same name of the image or the slug of the image. So if we come actually, I'm not even going to do that because it's probably not going to, well, yeah, okay. So you see how the source is being sourced out of here, right? If I go into there and I also put the slug of my media, and I run it, you're gonna see that even medias have their own slug. You see, it's this crazy number here. So you could do that, or you could make it so that it is the title of the page. Okay, I don't really like this slug. I think it, sometimes you're gonna get images like this, right? Because that's what the image name is, and it's basically just going to use the image name as the slug. So I don't really love that, but you can, or you can basically use the same thing that you did for the title. So you can use your title as your alt, and then now your image will be named after the title of your. So right here, just pick the whole thing up and put it in there, or you can even do the actual slug of instead of the title. If you wanted to have like the dashes and all that stuff and be in a slug, it's going to be the title but with dashes in it, or you can just do it as a title and it's going to look like regular text. So that's the only place that we have images on that I remember. Yep, that's it, because this is a background. This is not an actual image that could be. The footer are going to be SVG files, so that's fine, and that's good. The template, you may run it, and you may run some issues in the template. So I'm gonna save this and see if I can do that. So save that in the index, and then go to the template projects. In here, let me see. You know what? I don't think it's going to be a problem here, because here we are not bringing the image itself, we're bringing the content, and the image is inside the content. So now if that still gives you problems, so I'm going to go ahead and stop that and do another develop, so I can webpack all of this and then do a git add and push. Okay, now if all of that still gives you problems in Lighthouse, it's very likely because here in your own code, you never added any alt to it. So a good way to do this is to go to the media page, to the media folder here. Give it a second. So go to your WordPress, basically. Go to your WordPress and go to the alt, and you're gonna see whatever images you have there. Just open them up, and there's going to be some alternative text. Type something in there, and then do the same thing basically for the next one, and add another one there, and another one there, and another one, and basically just fill them all up, and then just come back over here and make sure you do another build, another compile, and then push all and everything to GitHub, and you should be on your way. You should be all good. Alright guys, so I'm not gonna wait for this to happen, because I know that it's gonna develop fine, because all I did was just add content to the alt. Or you know what, let's just wait. Might as well. This is the very end, so while this is waiting and doing a git push and all that, I'm gonna give my outro to you guys. I want to thank you guys for sticking with me throughout this entire thing. I'm sorry when I'm not the best at doing videos, and I don't think I have voice for radio, or a great personality when it comes to that. I'll try to just be as goofy as I can to kind of like make it fun and not monotone and boring. But I'm trying my best. But yeah, if you liked it, just go ahead and subscribe to my channel and share it, and do whatever you got to do. If this is in YouTube, just go ahead and do what you have to do there, and make sure you share it. And if this is in Udemy or anywhere else, just thank you for getting this course, and I hope you enjoyed it, and just keep an eye out for my next lessons and my next courses that are gonna come out. So while this is pushing now, just wrapping it up. This is done, and making sure this is building, and then pretty soon we'll have a brand new one here, and then the alt images will be changed. Okay, so it seems like it's done, so I'll just do a quick refresh here. Alright, and we're gonna close this audit and start a new one, and run the audit, generate report, and hopefully with the alt text we got a little bit of a bump, and a better score in our Lighthouse here. And again, you can check out some of the SEO courses out there. I'll try to put one out myself eventually, and now we got better scores now. So SEO is 100%, accessibility, best practices, we're still up at 52% in performance, but that's basically because of the images, and I already spoke about that. So but everything else is looking great. So that's it. That's basically what you want to aim for. It is loading up at lightning speed, and it works really good. So if I click on it, you can see all of it. If you don't like, I don't like this color of text for links, you can change that on your own with CSS. So alright, and that's all there is to this. Thank you again for all your time. Thank you. I hope you learned some good stuff, and leave me any comments, and I'll try to address them. Alright, you have a good day, guys.